We're going to have a look at the matchups now, boys. So Geelong and Hawthorn, be fascinating. We're upstairs just working out who's going to play on who. So we could go on for hours. We've only got a limited time. But as we look at it right now, you can take up the first matchup you spoke about with Watson.
Yeah.
Where do you see?
I think Mullen goes to Watson.
Mullen.
I think that's the matchup for me. And the last time they played back in round 6, it was Mark O'Connor that went to Dylan Moore, went up the ground with him at stoppage, played there. I can see that happening again, King. I think they might try and lock away the two small forwards for the Hawks, because that is the danger zone for them with their ability to score. And maybe it's Tom Atkins that can just match up against Newcombe.
I think it'll be O'Connor.
To Newcombe?
Yeah, I do. Well, how do you know?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I
Yeah.
think they'll start with Dangerfield in there.
Yep.
And whether that pushes O'Connor out for the bounce, I think that's a weapon they like to use, and we'll get to that in a moment. But I would just be surprised they let Newcombe run. I think there'll be someone putting some time in, whether it's Atkins or O'Connor, because let's be frank, he's the only one that's going to destroy them in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do think Atkins, because I went back and watched the round 6 game, and it was Atkins that played on John Newcombe on that occasion. And when you think about it for the season, Tom Atkins is the man that plays on all the bigger mids. So he's played on Tom Green for the Giants a couple of times. He's played on Rao, Ollie Wines, Davies Uniacke. He does play on the big-bodied mids. O'Sheen Mullen has tagged the smaller types, the Merritt, the Dacos, the Zach Butters type of players, like Errol Goulden. So I can see Atkins just going with Newcombe around stoppage and just trying to make sure that he doesn't dominate like he has in recent weeks from clearance. And then maybe it's a bit more of the team defence through the middle part of the game. Because in this game, and you'll touch on it in a minute, Kingy, how much the Hawks dominated, John Newcombe only had 1 centre clearance and only 4 clearances for the game, despite still playing pretty good footy. So just one to keep an eye on. I just think that's fascinating with these two coaches, Dicko. You know Sam as well as anyone. The tactical nous of these two and how they go about it's going to be interesting.
Well, I think it's fascinating. Last week you pointed out Newcombe. You've got to get to him. Dawson just shut him down early and they didn't, and he destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them. So
you need a bigger body on him.
Correct.
So that's where I disagree with Atkins. I know he plays like a big body,
Yeah.
but I just think the bigger frame. And I was thinking if they bought Stanley and they might have even used Blitzars. But we'll wait and see. And this is the beauty of this matchup. The coach's box, they'll be throwing blows backwards and forwards. It's hard not to get consumed, or it's a danger for these coaches to get consumed in that fight and not stay true to what they want to be on in their own methodology and their own planning.
I'll throw you another one. Weddle, Dempsey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, on the wing, is this what we're anticipating, Kingy? We're like, OK, young bull, old bull. Weddle plays like an older man, but he's obviously young at heart. But as you look at it right now, what do you see?
You think Weddle?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see Weddle go. I'd love to see Sam Mitchell go, Weddle, you're going to Ollie Dempsey's wing. We know what Ollie Dempsey's going to do and push forward. We've seen it all year. But what about if they say, well, hey, Dempsey, can you run with Weddle? Can you play defensively and manage to defend this? Because I know Weddle can go back and defend. If Dempsey pushes forward, Weddle can go with him and defend. But I'm not sure whether Ollie Dempsey can do the same. So I'd love to see Sam Mitchell play fire with fire and stick Weddle, because he's been dynamite throughout this final series. But that's going to be an interesting battle as well.
Oh, I love this guy, though. I won't hear a bad word said about him. I just refuse. And I don't think he's necessarily the defensive animal that the others are, but he gets so much support. So he'll head all the way to the goal square, and he'll trust some others to pick up his man going the other way. And I think they live with that a little bit because the rewards are so high. He's kicked most of his goals from the goal square. Yeah. He's such a threat. But if that is to be the matchup, who would win it? Because I just think Dempsey would take him forward more often than not.
Weddle will go with him, though.
End up with Weddle as a defender out of the play.
Correct.
I don't know if the Hawks can live with him being out of the play.
Will Dempsey go back the other way? If
No,
Weddle goes
he
to?
won't. But he doesn't have to. He's got teammates that'll do that, and you keep your strength. You maintain your advantage.
It's going to be good fun watching this from the coach's box, the matchups and what they come up with.
Tom Barrass. As we see him right now, who's he going to get?
Well, he fascinates me, this guy. And where the ground's small and he can cut the angles in that defensive 50, he's elite. And this is why they've got him. But when he's up the ground, and this is the biggest threat in the game for me, I'd be taking him to the wing as often as I could if I was Shannon Neale. Get him high, because he doesn't really do this part of the game that well. Thilthorpe didn't have a great day, but my God, if they could get any speed on the ball, he would have had a field day against Barrass, because he labours when he's working back to go. Look at the separation there. He's on Amon. I mean, if you had Neale versus Amon on Friday night, game over. So even here, it's a slow play. Free kick given. He mans the mark. There's no reason why he can't go with Thilthorpe from here. Absolutely no reason. But he tends to just drift. He's a bit of a a drifter, if you like. He doesn't concentrate. He now get back to that small part of the ground, and he understands now he can zone. Now he can cut the angles. But if Geelong can move it quick or get the leapfrog effect going, all of a sudden you've got a tall, out the back, ready to impact games. I can see the big boy run the muck. Here he is again. And this is a slow play again, Joey.
Yep.
So there's no reason why you can't really get this done if your attitude's correct.
And there are not many better key position athletes than Riley Thilthorpe, but there is one for Geelong.
Yeah. Shannon
Neale.
Yeah. So have a look at this. So this is sort of what I'm talking about. Look, once it gets to the angles, he can leave. But if this is Geelong, they use that. They pop that over the top. They'll use pocket, they'll use wide and maintain flow, maintain speed. So I'm just putting this on watch. And this won't be lost on Geelong. They plan these games to within an inch of their lives. They would have seen an opportunity here. And the more times you can take Tom Barrass to the wing, the better off their forward 50 will be.
Well, my biggest question will be, how often will he go up to the wing to get the footy?
Well, if he doesn't go, they'll use him.
They set the field. Geelong set the field for their athletic forwards. And we've seen them get Cameron and Neale high a lot to use their athleticism to get back to goal. So Barrass is going to have to...
Bring your boots, bring your running scoop.
They will plan that.
Yep, and would you let him go and have that?
Now, that's where they've got to work out the Hawks.
That might be the strategy.
You're
going to let him go and you take it up.
Give up the mark.
You can have it on the wing, because when Sam got him to Hawthorn, he said, inside 50 can't be beat. No. That's why we got him.
Or can he hand over Barrass and hand over to Scrimshaw and Sicily maybe? So you take him when he's high and wait for him to come back to goal.
Again, these are the small advantages of a prelim. If Neale can take contested marks against those undersized players on the wing, then it opens up for Geelong.
Yeah.
So what have you got there? How can you exploit it? So I'm fascinated by how Chris Scott and Sam Mitchell exploit this matchup.
Yep, it's going to be fascinating. Kingy, let's have a look at the Hawks centre bounce. What do you see?
Well, last time they played in round 6, they won 13 centre bounce, and they scored 10 times. It's an unbelievable number. It's the third highest return, 10 scores from a centre bounce in the last 10 years. And there was only 27 centre bounce opportunities in this game. The two higher, one of them was the 171-point win to Sydney against the West Coast Eagles of 18 months ago, where they had 40 centre bounces. So this is not like they had a massive opportunity to stack the numbers. So that is an unbelievable return. Now, in this game, Dangerfield only went in for one centre bounce. So that, to me, I think Chris Scott is prepared to not give a sighter through the home and away year. And he saves Dangerfield for the big month in September. And the numbers endorse that. When you look at how many times he starts quarters in at centre bounce, they just got to the outside so quickly in this preview. I mean, it's a long time ago, right? So much has changed. And they would have looked at this and said, OK, how'd they do it? They were on the move. They were exploding through the traffic. They weren't engaging body on body. Look at this, straight to the outside and go. Overlap, go, Newcombe again. So maybe he didn't get the centre bounce numbers, but he got first receive. So I'm looking at Dangerfield. In 2022, the final series, he was in 7 of 8. He started in the middle in 7 of the 8 quarters, prelim and GF. In 2024, all 8 quarters, he started in the middle at centre bounce. This year, we've hardly seen it this year. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, 3 of the 4 quarters. Last quarter, the game's over. 31 points up, put him away again. So he'll throw him in there, get us going. We saw how destructive he was in that first quarter of the grand final against the Swans. Smith won the Norm Smith, but Dangerfield set the game up. He just ripped their heart out and they cast him from there.
He's got the ace up the sleeve.
This is the ace. He's going, bang. If you can beat my trump card here in the biggest games in September, good luck to you. But he's in there.
So does he line up next to Newcombe?
I think he does. I think he does.
This just keeps getting better.
It's the big body again. We keep talking about that big, powerful body. And I think the coach asks for a special effort for the first 5 minutes. Give us your absolute best. And as soon as you feel a little bit of fatigue, get forward.
Before we leave this chat, just quickly, we're forgetting the big matchup, Mitchell and Scott.
Yeah.
Two masterminds.
Yeah.
How fascinating will they be sitting there and just looking across at each other going, righto, what are you going to do? It's going to be a fascinating...
I want them to hate each other, but I don't think they do.
No.
I know. I want a bit of... You feel like this is a prelim, you want some anger in it, you want some spite, it's going to be a
You can almost see them tip the cap to each other in the coach's box, like, good move, and then they counter it and come up with something else.